Laugh.
Christ is the head of this house, the unseen guest at every meal, the silent listener to every conversation. Mark 7, verses 14 through 16. When he had called out a multitude to himself, he said to them, "Hear me, everyone, and understand. There is nothing that enters a man from outside which can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are the things that defile a man. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear." When he had entered a house away from the crowd, his disciples came, asked him concerning the parable. He said to them, "Are you without understanding also? Do you not perceive that whatever enters man from the outside cannot defile him? Because it does not enter his heart but his stomach, and is eliminated, thus purifying all foods. What comes out of man that defiles a man? For from within, out of the heart of man, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, murder, thefts, weakness, deceit, lewdness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. And all these evil things, come from within and defiles the man." Welcome to Encouragement Over Ministries Incorporated. We were found on John 3:16, 17, and 18. This is God's salvation plan for everyone. He did not send his son to the cross. He did not have his son to be born in the stable. He did not send his son to the cross. He did not bring his son out of the tomb on the third day, having to go back into heaven to prepare a place for a certain few, like so many today thinks. He did not do that. He did this for everyone who believes, who wants it, who believes. People, it tells us, "Come unto me, all ye that thirst. Come unto me." He tells us, for everyone and anyone who wants it, it's there. It's there for each and every one. Not for a certain few. Prayers tonight is for a neighbor, Furman and Kitty. Furman is about 80 years old, I think. And about 4 or 5 years ago, he had cancer. He went through chemotherapy. Just here recently, they found cancer of the kidney. Now he's going to have to go through all that again, chemotherapy, radiation, for 4 months. So do remember Furman and his wife Kitty. Reverend Bob tonight, who's these allergies, his legs. These allergies is something else down here, folks. It is something else. Linda, her neighbor. Remember her neighbor Phil, that just recently died from cancer? I said his wife, she's going to have a celebration of life tomorrow, so pray that everything goes well for her. And then we had another neighbor in here, Mary Beth, that died with cancer. So do remember her and her family. Seems to me like there's more cancer going around today than they ever have been. Let's just take a few moments of silence, people. And remember the cancer victims. I was thinking about what am I going to say tonight, Lord? It's your ministry. Let me open up my mouth and you fill it with words that you want. Sometimes people I get stunned where I don't know what to say. Well, this one came to me about an hour ago. Seasons. We all have some kind of fond memory of the seasons of our youth. I know I do. Certain fond memories back then. What is your favorite season? Spring, summer, autumn, winter. A lot of people find that autumn and the winter months are some of the most lonesome time of the year. I do too. Although when the leaves are pretty on the mountains during the autumn, it's some of the most beautiful times of the year. Stand back from the mountains and look how beautiful they can be in blazing colors for autumn. Puts me in mind of an old patchwork quilt, and that's exactly what it is, the Patchwork Mountains. It is beautiful, but yet it becomes lonesomeness. Because pretty soon the flowers are going to be gone, the trees are going to be without leaves. It becomes a lonesome time of the year. Summers are too hot to really enjoy them. Spring, at the beginning of spring, well, it is still chilly, but the flowers are beginning to come up, to bloom. The trees are getting their leaves back on them. By mid-spring to late spring, it is the most beautiful time of the year because the weather's not that hot. The nights are not all that cold. It is the most beautiful time of the year, I think. And that's what I think. Well, some believes that he was born in the month of December. I don't. Because of this lonesomeness. A lonesome will come by with somebody's passing. They're dying and dead. You feel a great lonesome. People, you feel this automatically during the winter months. I believe he's born sometime in the month of April. Because the month of April is a joyful month. Like right now here in Florida. It's not been that hot today. It's not going to be that cold tonight. To me, it makes it a perfect time of the year. A joyful time. Go to a hospital, maternity place where babies are. They'll make you smile. They will. You stand there looking at them and they'll make you smile. Your heart will melt as you look at the baby. The same thing is with the springtime. You feel this joy because everything is coming back to life. This is when I believe he was born. There is a Bible scholar who went all the way back to study on that time that he was being raised up to when he was a little toddler, and they had to flee from Bethlehem and go into Nazareth, escape death. He studied on the king at that time, who was the leader of that. And he traced it down to whenever that king died. He traced it to the month of April, which I believe it was, our month of April. That makes spring the most joyful time of the year. Things are coming back to life. Things are coming back to life at this time. After a cold winter, finally, the sun comes through and it begins to warm the earth and things begin to come back to life. This is my most joyful time of the year. My pick of all the times of the year is spring. Now think about heaven. People, it's not going to be hot. It's not going to be too cold. But it's going to be perfect. Now you pick out a day of the year when everything's perfect. Spring. The weather's not so hot and it's not so cold. People, I believe that's going to be heaven, where everybody can enjoy it. He said everything that you love here is going to be in heaven, except sin. You love these days where it's not so hot, the nights are not so cold, that's going to be heaven. Everything you love is going to be there, except sin. Springtime. When the flowers are blooming. Flowers are going to be blooming every day in heaven. This is in the spring. Springtime in heaven. The weather is going to be perfect. Not a cloud in the sky. Not a snowflake around. No cold weather. It's going to be in spring. Are you prepared? If not, get prepared now. Because people, we're not guaranteed a tomorrow here on this earth. But we are guaranteed a tomorrow. Our tomorrow is either going to be New Jerusalem or the lake of fire. That's the tomorrow that we have been promised. But yet we're not promised a tomorrow here on earth. We're not promised it. So people, get prepared and get ready to go where spring as always is. It always will be. And that's in heaven. The flowers will be blooming. The days will be not hot, but just perfect. The nights will be just perfect in heaven. In heaven. Seasons. Seasons here on this earth are 4, but in glory there's only going to be 1. There's only going to be 1 season. There's not going to be no more of this cold air coming in on us like it does in the wintertime. There's not going to be no harsh storms, no tornadoes, no hurricanes. Because see, all that's over. So let's rejoice and look forward to that spring in heaven that's going to last for eternity. It's going to last forever. It's not going to be today, tomorrow, last the day, tomorrow, and 3 weeks from now. No. It's going to last forever. A perfect day. A perfect time. When the flowers are at bloom and not a cloud in the sky. Everything is just perfect. That's going to be heaven. Springtime in heaven. Boy, we got a lot to look forward to, don't we? And what we do here will determine if we go there. We've got to keep that love for each other. Because he tells us before he left, I leave you with the greatest commandment, to love one another. People, that is a requirement. That is the key to the kingdom. The love is the key to the kingdom. It beats me how many so-called religious people out there can hate. Can hate another because of who they are. It beats me how they think they can get by with it. Satan has captured their minds so much People, that's all it is. Satan has got them. You've got to have that love. That love is the key to the kingdom. Because he says so. The greatest commandment is to love one another. People, that's going to get us into that springtime in heaven. Springtime forever. Springtime. Amen? See you next Friday. But I'll see you Sunday on the cooking show. God bless you.